Welcome back to English Every Day. Welcome to the inspiring story of Leo, a young man who proved that hard work and persistence could turn dreams into reality. Previously, we saw Leo face a devastating fire that nearly destroyed his humble bakery, but rather than surrender, Leo chose to rebuild. And now, we witness the final and most powerful chapter of his journey. As the ashes cooled and uncertainty lingered in the air, Leo took a deep breath and did what he had always done. He looked forward. With unwavering spirit, he approached the man who had once changed his life, Mr. Anderson. Though now retired, Mr. Anderson welcomed Leo with a familiar smile. "Sir," Leo asked, "what would you do if you were me?" The elderly baker leaned back and replied, "Leo, you already know the answer. You've proven that nothing is free in this life. Keep working, keep believing in yourself, and others will believe in you too." Encouraged by those simple yet profound words, Leo got back to work. He didn't wait for charity or miracles. He returned to baking in his small kitchen, using what little equipment he had left. When customers came by and saw the damage, Leo told them honestly, "I won't let this stop me. I'll keep serving you, even if I can only bake a few loaves a day." Something amazing happened. The community that had watched Leo grow from a boy with a cart into a town favorite began to rally around him. Some neighbors brought ingredients, bags of flour, sticks of butter. Others gave what they could in coins or supplies. A few even volunteered to help clean and paint the damaged shop. Leo was overwhelmed by the support. He realized that his journey wasn't just about selling bread, it was about building trust and connection. People weren't helping out of pity. They were investing in someone who had never stopped investing in himself. Months passed. With every spare hour, Leo worked harder than ever. Slowly but surely, the bakery came back to life. When he finally reopened, the place had a new shine. Fresh coats of paint, brighter lights, and a warmth that couldn't be faked. There were new items on the shelves, fluffy muffins, buttery croissants, and cupcakes that looked like little works of art. On the day of his grand reopening, the town buzzed with excitement. Old customers returned, new ones lined up, and the mayor even stopped by to cut the ribbon. "Leo," the mayor said proudly, "you are a true inspiration. You've shown us that with courage, effort, and heart, anything is possible." Leo stood before the crowd, his voice steady and sincere. "I want to thank each of you. You've taught me that nothing in life is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything has to be earned through sweat, sacrifice, and showing up even on the hardest days. Never let failure stop you. Every challenge is a chance to become stronger." From that day forward, Leo's bakery became more than just a shop. It was a symbol of resilience. People from other towns came to see the young man who refused to give up. School teachers used his story in lessons. Parents pointed to him when teaching their children about perseverance. His journey wasn't flawless. He still made mistakes, had slow days, and faced new problems. But Leo never forgot the lesson he learned from the very beginning. Dreams are not free. So what can we take away from Leo's story? Dreams require effort. Success doesn't come without struggle. Failure is part of growth. Each setback is a lesson in disguise. Help yourself first. When others see your commitment, they'll step in too. Keep going, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Leo didn't just bake bread. He baked hope into every loaf, courage into every crust, and love into every cookie. So whatever your dream may be, big or small, remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible if you're willing to work for it. As the smell of fresh bread and sweet pastries filled the town, Leo's journey seemed to be reaching new heights, but life had one more test in store. Before the sun rose, Mr. Anderson began teaching Leo how to master the craft of baking. Each morning at 3 a.m., Leo arrived, bleary-eyed but determined. Mr. Anderson showed him how to measure flour with care, mix ingredients to the perfect consistency, knead the dough with rhythm and strength, and understand the delicate relationship between time, temperature, and texture. But the path to perfection wasn't easy. Leo's hands ached from kneading for hours. His first few batches were far from perfect. Some came out hard as bricks, others too soft to hold their shape. One day, after burning another tray of bread, Leo slumped onto a flour-covered bench. Sweat dripped from his brow as he muttered to himself, "Maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I should give up." Just then, a memory rose like morning light. His father's voice. "Dreams are not free." Leo sat up. He realized something crucial. Every mistake was teaching him something. Failure wasn't the end. It was the tuition he had to pay to learn something great. And giving up, that was not an option. The very next day, Leo returned with a fire in his heart. He practiced every step with care and precision. Day by day, his technique improved. His dough was softer, his timing sharper, and the aroma of his bread began to speak for itself. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a perfectly golden loaf and said with a rare smile, "This is perfect, Leo. You're ready." With pride swelling in his chest, Leo rented a small oven and began baking from home. His kitchen was small and crowded, but it was filled with love and determination. His sister Sophie, now his little helper, packed bread with care. His mother, Claire, brewed tea for him during his long nights. Soon, Leo wasn't just baking bread. He started making cookies, cakes, and pastries. People from all over town came to buy his goods. "Leo's bread tastes better than anything we've had before," they said. But success, as always, comes with challenges. One day, a new bakery opened down the street. It was run by a young man named Eric. His shop was large, modern, and eye-catching, with colorful signs, polished counters, and beautiful cake displays. Curious customers flocked to Eric's place, and Leo's sales began to drop. Fear gripped Leo's heart. What if all he had built began to crumble? But instead of giving in to despair, Leo made a bold choice. He decided to grow. He talked to his customers. "What do you like about Eric's bakery? What can I do better?" he asked. Some said Eric's store was brighter and more welcoming. Others praised the design of his cakes. Leo took every comment to heart. He used his savings to repaint his cart and decorated it with cheerful colors and warm lighting. He began offering free samples again and stayed late into the night watching tutorials in the library on cake design and decorating techniques. Slowly but surely, customers began to return. They didn't just come for the bread, they came for Leo's passion, his resilience, and the warmth he brought to every conversation. One crisp evening, an elderly woman approached Leo and said gently, "I've seen many young men give up when life gets hard, but not you. That's why we trust you." Her words touched Leo deeply. Months passed, and Leo's business bloomed. He finally saved enough money to rent a small shop, not as grand as Eric's, but full of heart. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Every morning, long before sunrise, Leo opened the shop with a wide smile. Sophie, now 11, loved greeting customers. Claire managed the finances with pride. Leo knew this was only the beginning. His dreams stretched far beyond one shop. He wanted to reach more people, inspire young dreamers, and show the world that with hard work, nothing is impossible. But life wasn't done testing Leo just yet. One stormy night, as Leo was closing the bakery, he smelled smoke. Panic gripped him. He rushed inside and found flames flickering near the oven. Without thinking, he grabbed a bucket of water and managed to put the fire out, but not before several key pieces of equipment were damaged. The next morning, the townspeople heard the news and gathered outside his shop. "Oh no, what will Leo do now?" some whispered. Others murmured, "Maybe this is the end for him." Leo stood silently outside his damaged bakery, looking at the charred walls and melted wires. For a moment, despair crept in. But then, He straightened his back, looked at the crowd, and said, "This is just a challenge. I've faced struggles before, and I will face this too. I won't give up." He took a deep breath and began making a plan. After counting his savings, he realized it wasn't enough to replace everything. Doubt tried to take hold, but then he remembered something even more valuable than equipment: his journey. He had started with nothing but a dream and a heart full of determination, and that had taken him this far. And so, instead of sitting and worrying, After the fire, Leo faced his biggest challenge yet, but rather than giving in to fear or waiting for a miracle, he turned to the one person who had helped him take his very first step, Mr. Anderson. Leo visited the retired baker and said, "Sir, I need your advice." "What would you do if you were me?" Mr. Anderson gave him a knowing smile and said, "Leo, deep down, you already know the answer. Haven't you proven it to yourself over and over again? Nothing in life is free, but if you keep working hard and believing in yourself, others will believe in you too." Those words struck a deep chord. Inspired and reignited with purpose, Leo refused to wait for a savior. He rolled up his sleeves and began baking from home again, using the few tools he still had. He told his customers with conviction, "I won't let you down. Even if I can only bake a few loaves at a time, I will continue serving you." And the town noticed. Moved by his resilience, people began showing up, not just to buy bread, but to help. Some donated flour, sugar, and eggs. Others gave small amounts of money, while a few volunteered their time to help him clean, paint, and repair what was left of his bakery. Leo realized something profound. When you give life your all, people rally around you. They believe in those who believe in themselves. After months of relentless effort, Leo's bakery reopened. But this time, it wasn't just a place to buy bread. It was a symbol of rebirth and perseverance. He painted the walls bright yellow, hung up lights in the windows, and introduced brand new items: cupcakes, muffins, and sweet rolls. The entire town buzzed with excitement. On the day of the grand reopening, the mayor of the town showed up, cut a ribbon outside the door, and said, "Leo, you are a true inspiration. You've reminded us all that anything is possible when we refuse to quit." Standing proudly in front of the smiling crowd, Leo took a deep breath and said, "Thank you, every one of you. You've taught me that nothing in this world is free. Not success, not respect, not love. Everything must be earned, with work, with patience, and with the courage to keep going when everything seems lost. Every challenge is not the end. It's just the beginning of something greater." From that day forward, Leo's bakery became more than just a business. It became a beacon of hope. People from nearby towns began visiting, not just for the pastries, but to meet the young man who had risen from hardship with heart. Leo's journey left behind powerful lessons. Dreams are not free. They demand time, effort, and sacrifice. Failure is not the end. Each setback is a setup for a comeback. Help yourself first. When people see your effort, they'll come to your aid. Never give up. The darkest moments often come right before the breakthrough. Leo didn't just rebuild a bakery. He built a life filled with purpose, integrity, and pride. And that's something no fire could ever destroy. So whatever your dream is, don't stop chasing it. Face every setback with strength. Remember, nothing is free, but everything is possible. If Leo's story inspired you, share it with someone chasing a dream. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to English Every Day, where every story teaches not just language, but life.